It's pretty bad. Yeah, that's because it's out of tune. So, hi guys, my name is Devin Moore. I've been playing guitar for about 10 years now. One of the most important skills I find that I can pass on to novices is learning how to tune the instrument. So hopefully by the end of this demonstration, you're going to know a few basic skills that allow you to properly tune your instrument with or without a tuner. And you can use these skills in your daily life if you play guitar or any other stringed instrument. So first thing we're going to go over are the notes on the guitar. So starting from the top, going to the bottom, we have E, A, D, G, B, E. You have to memorize these notes in order to know the proper tuning of the guitar. As you can see from the picture, each string corresponds to a tuning knob as follows: E, A, D, G, B, E. It starts with the one closest to you and wraps around the head of the guitar. So the first method of tuning your guitar is one which does not involve a tuner and does not involve any other instruments besides your guitar. So all you do is you're going to tune the guitar to the top note. So you hit this top note, and then you hit the 5th fret, and you're going to match that pitch with the next string. That's already in tune. That's in tune. You want to match that pitch. This will tune your guitar to itself. As Dan Cross says from About.com, your guitar will sound fine on its own, but if you try to play with another instrument, it'll sound bad. And that's just because your guitar will be tuned to itself and not actually in tune. So this is fine if you're just by yourself, but if you're going to play with other people, it's highly recommended to use a different method. One of these different methods could be using a piano for a reference pitch. So what you would do is simply hit the notes listed on this diagram. Start with E, go to A, D, and so on. And you're going to want to match the pitch that it sounds on the piano with your guitar. If you do this correctly, your guitar should be properly in tune and you didn't have to use a digital tuner. Also, it does help to assume that the piano is in tune. If it's a digital piano, it's pretty much guaranteed that the piano will have proper pitch. So a common concern among people is just that their guitar won't stay in tune no matter what they do. Either they leave it in the case and all of a sudden it's out of tune, or they play it for an extended period of time and it goes out of tune. So what that usually is just that your strings are not worn in correctly. In order to wear in your strings, something you can do is hold down on the fretboard and tug on your strings near the sound hole. This will wear them in so that when you do actually go to tune it again, it should stay in tune. The strings will be worn in, they'll be stronger, they'll stay where they are. So to conclude, you may be wondering why learn the methods I just listed if you can just buy a digital tuner for very cheap and it'll tell you the right pitch. And the answer is simply that if you want to be a good musician, you have to be a self-sufficient musician. As well, Dave Hunter from Gibson.com says that a lot of artists that you may know, such as Jimi Hendrix or Slash, like to use different tunings on their instrument to get different sounds. So if you ever want to experiment with your instrument and make different types of music, you have to know these skills to tune your instrument differently. As well, going back to if your strings are not worn in correctly, you never want to tune your guitar sharp and assume that it'll go flat. Like, that's a bad idea. That comes from Andy Shaw from musicacademy.com. So that is the conclusion of my speech. I hope you all have learned today how to properly tune your instrument. Are there any questions?
Yes, Devin, I have a question. Do you need a good ear for music in order to tune the guitar to itself?
Yes, it would be ideal, because in order to tune the guitar to itself, you have to be able to match pitches. So if I play this, I have to be able to tell that that's a little bit off and either tune it sharper or flatter. This comes with experience. It's not as difficult as it seems, and especially the more you play, the more you get accustomed to the correct notes that you're supposed to hear, and you'll be able to recognize that. Any other questions?
If you do purchase a tuner, does it matter if you get a digital or analog?
It shouldn't, as long as it works. If the tuner works, and it works, ideally you want a tuner that will allow you to tune any string you want to any note. Sometimes you'll get a tuner that'll only recognize if it's either an E or an A. But where you run into problems is if you want to change the tuning of your guitar to suit your needs, and the tuner won't recognize it. So always try to get a tuner that will recognize any type of pitch. Thank you guys for coming out. I hope you enjoyed my demonstration.